Breaking news out of Oklahoma. Former Missouri wide receiver Dorial Green-Beckham is visiting the Sooners. Green-Beckham was suspended indefinitely from the Missouri football program after being involved in an incident at an apartment complex in Columbia. What are his plans with the Sooners? Well, let's check in with Carey Murdock from Soonerscoop.com, who broke the story. And Carey, you're there in Norman. What's the latest you're hearing?
Well, as we stand right now, Shay, it's about 3 hours in, and Dorial Green-Beckham is still visiting with coaches at the University of Oklahoma, namely Jay Norvell, the wide receivers coach. And it looks like it doesn't look like we've been able to uncover that he actually did sign a financial aid agreement. A lot of people questioning whether it would even be legal by NCAA rules for Beckham to visit with Norvell, but he did sign a financial aid agreement, which frees him up to speak to OU coaches without it being an NCAA violation.
Carey, what's your gut? What's the likelihood that Green-Beckham does indeed transfer to Oklahoma?
The more calls I get on this, the more, as I'm sitting here now watching Jay Norvell come up in a cart with Dorial Green-Beckham, I'm hearing that this is getting closer and closer to happening, that officials at the University of Oklahoma have actually almost rubber stamped this thing as we stand right now.
Interesting. He will have to sit out a year if he does decide to transfer to another FBS school. Carey Murdock of the Soonerscoop.com. Thanks so much for the insight.
Thanks, Shay.
Well, we now welcome in our college football analyst, Doug Chapman. And Doug, Green-Beckham was the #1 recruit coming out of high school in 2012. He notched 12 TDs last season. So what kind of boost would he give that Oklahoma offense in 2015?
Immediate. If you're Trevor Knight right now, you're like, I don't care if I win the Heisman this year. I'm going to stay an extra year so I can play with this guy in 2015. If you're Baker Mayfield, you're fantasizing right now about playing with this guy next year because you're sitting out right now. He's big. He's physical. He's an immediate deep threat. You can't coach the type of plays that he makes. He comes off the line. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. He would provide an immediate boost, especially in the red zone. And he's one of those guys that defensively, when you look at them, if he goes to Oklahoma, you have to account for him on every single snap.
Well, Doug, you're a former football player. Is it smart, though, for him to sit out a year and not play until 2015?
Yeah, there's two sides of this, Shay. And the first side is that he apparently has some off-the-field issues. So if I were in his ear, I would say, you got in trouble in Missouri while playing ball. You're going to go somewhere now and sit out for a year. That may not be the best thing for you. My grandfather used to always say, an idle mind is a devil's playground. And apparently he got in some trouble when he had idle time. He'll have a whole year of it now. But if he's going to go play right away, I would go down to the FCS level and go to the NFL. He may not be a top 10 pick, but if he goes and plays at a high level at the Big 12, puts up big numbers, the numbers he put up when he was in the SEC championship game versus Auburn, he can play against the best competition. He may be doing this for financial reasons, may want to go to a bigger school, show the scouts he sat out for a year, kept his nose clean, and is able to show that he's learned his lesson. Yeah. But the biggest thing with me is that's why these schools need to have player development departments, every last one of them, for situations like this to monitor the guy. I'm not worried about him when he has a helmet on. I'm worried about him when Oklahoma goes on the road. If he signs with Oklahoma and he's back in Norman by himself with his own free time, what he's going to do.
He's just got to get out of his own way, right? Get out of your own way, Green-Beckham. All right, Doug Chapman, thanks so much for the insight. Well, Dorial Green-Beckham isn't the only one checking out other schools. Hear why Max Whittek may be saying aloha to USC. You can see that video only on CampusInsiders.com.